This week on the Produce Moms podcast, we're back. Hey everyone, it's Lori Taylor. I'm the founder and CEO of the Produce Moms. And today I will highlight some of what you can expect this season on our podcast because today is the Produce Moms 7-year anniversary. Woohoo! Welcome to the Produce Moms. This is the podcast where I talk to various people who've made an impact on the fruit and vegetable community. There are so many stories to share that will change the way you look at fresh produce. Today, as our guest, we are welcoming our newest member to the Produce Moms team, Kristen Mehne, and it is so exciting to have her here with us. She is our new executive producer, and we're going to talk all about how she and I met and just let you get to know her better. So maybe we'll start with a little fun icebreaker. Kristen, this was a little something that you and I were kind of tossing around before the show. Maybe we should do icebreakers, ask fun questions, keep it lighthearted. So let's kick things off with what's the best thing that's happened to you this week?
Talking to you, Lori, is the best thing that's happened to me this week. I love this. We're kicking off the Produce Moms podcast. So this is a great thing. And honestly, I'm super thrilled to be a part of this awesome company and adventure and journey with you. So yeah, no, I'm thrilled. I really do. I mean this sincerely.
Oh my gosh, you are so nice.
I'm super excited. So
before you said that, guess where my mind was heading with the best thing that's happened to me all week?
What?
Yesterday at yoga, I held half moon for 2 full minutes.
Congratulations. That is I'm speechless.
Yes, but no, when you say that, I'm like, oh my God, I'm really like selfish with my best thing of the week.
Hey, sometimes we gotta just be honest. I'd rather we be honest. Come on.
No, the best thing, are you kidding? The best thing that every week that my business experiences growth, when we celebrate milestones, that's the best thing, right? That and my kids. And I know that you can relate to both of those things. So
yes.
But yeah, this is great to have you here. Where should we start? Should we start with how we got to know each other or
sure.
What we're doing, what our plans are, why we are relaunching the podcast?
Absolutely. Love it.
All right, I'm all over the place. Executive producer, reel me in.
No, hey, we might have a show rundown. Doesn't mean we got to stick to it.
Look at this, everyone. This beautiful show notes, and I'm already going rogue, off cue. Okay, so Kristen, let's throw it back and let's make sure everyone knows. Kristen and I met in our sorority at Indiana University. So to say that we go way back, we don't just go way back. We go way back to like literally the best days, the college days. But we had so much fun at IU. And it's amazing now that we look back, here we are all in our very early 40s at this point. Yeah. And it is amazing how successful those women have all grown up to be, you know?
It's crazy.
It's like each and every time that I turn around where I need some sort of boss to help me level up things here in my corner of the TPM world, I'm like, oh my gosh, of course. I need to level up the production of the Produce Moms podcast. Well, Kristen from Kappa Alpha Theta, she knows this stuff. So Kristen, tell our audience a little bit more about your background, because I am literally so proud and so humbled with the fact that you and I now get to work together.
Me too. And I go back, my background, I like to do a lot of things that just interest me. So if it sparks my creative interest, I'm all in. So that's kind of like where my career has kind of taken me, from everything from sports production to children's programming to movie original content with movies, you name it. It's just one of those things that I like to just get my hands kind of involved in everything. I love wearing multiple hats, but ultimately it's about storytelling. So in all different mediums, all different kinds, from podcasts to streaming to broadcast television, you name it. And I just kind of feel, I'm humbled about it, because I don't know how I got into. I feel like a lot of this has fallen into my lap, but I also feel like too I'm good at it. So
You're really good at it. You work really
hard. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like timing's a component of it. Timing is a component of success.
Yes, correct.
But behind all success stories is a tremendous amount of work and preparation
Mm-hmm.
by the individual that's charging forward and creating that success. And so let's give credit where credit's due with your amazing portfolio of work. And Kristen, you were kind of humble with everything that you just announced, but like we're talking folks like ESPN, you did podcast production for Olympians and for the Olympics, even some of the coverage you did. I know that you've done work with NFL, like the Thursday Night Football work that you did.
Mm-hmm.
Most recently, you were working on the Today Show, doing all of their food production. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
these are some of the most iconic media entities in the world, not just in America, but like
Mm-hmm.
this is big time. So we are so excited to bring your talents to this show. And I hope that all of you who are with us as our audience, like, I hope you share our excitement because our whole goal is to take the Produce Moms podcast into this new frontier. I mean, this has been what you and I have shared with, we've discussed multiple times, Kristen. When we evaluate the entire portfolio of the Produce Moms, the podcast is this very unique niche. It's this
Oh yeah.
very unique little bubble in this sphere
Mm-hmm.
of influence, like this great place where we come together to learn and to spotlight people who have great passion and incredible contributions. And it's so different than everything else that we do. And everything's great, but I obviously, as the host of the show, I have a special passion for the podcast. And I have felt
Mm-hmm.
strongly, we launched this in 2018, but like now, um when I look around, I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to evolve, or else we're going to get lost in this sea of competition. And so that was really my driving force. That's, I think, every entrepreneur's driving force, though. Like, you're looking around and you're paranoid that you're going to lose that different, better, special appeal of something that
Mm-hmm.
you have worked so tirelessly to keep
Mm-hmm.
going. And for 7 years, I might add. Like, I am so excited that today is
Oh,
7 years of business ownership.
and what are you going to do to celebrate?
I mean, I always have champagne. So I am every year on the Produce Moms podcast, or the Produce Moms anniversary, I have champagne. And, year 7, it's like I better have better champagne than what I've had. Welcome back to the Produce Moms podcast. This is Lori Taylor, and we are here with Kristen Mehne. I like to make sure that the team and all the folks that have helped us get to where we're at, I like to make sure that they know. I started this little tradition a few years ago, and now I'm going to give it away, but I feel like we're talking about it, so here I go. I'm just going to give it away. So one thing that I started, for every year of business ownership, I would send out that many of thank yous to people who helped me get there. So like this year, it's 7 thank yous. And these are handwritten, they can be pretty from the heart. A lot of times these are people who like had no idea that they had that kind of impact on me. Like I remember year 4, so that was like pre-pandemic anniversary. Year 4, I sent a thank you note to Jim Beagle. And Jim Beagle is with the Grapery and those amazing cotton candy grapes and
Oh,
yes, gumdrops, like
so
all these
good.
amazing fun grape varieties. He's just been instrumental in evolving the grape category to have these wonderful flavors. And I sent him a thank you. And our business alignment was very brief. It was, the Produce Moms and Grapery. We had a great partnership, but it wasn't like, the way that we work with some of these other brands and very robust, big campaigns. But what I wrote to Jim in that note was like, hey, when I was grinding, doing cold calls all day long, when Joe and Mac were literally in the basement, where I set up my desk because I couldn't even afford daycare for them. And we would all just go down to the basement. I'd do cold calls and emails and market research and everything while they would play in the playroom. And I remember Jim took my call. Like when I made that cold call, and he is like a CEO. I mean, this is not like I'm making a cold call to a marketing manager. I'm making a cold call to the owner of the company. And he wanted to hear my story. And as I look back, I'm like, who are people that help frame this? Who are people that help empower this anniversary? And those are people, I think that sometimes when they receive those handwritten thank yous, it's probably a nice surprise to them.
But here's the other thing, bringing this back to our wonderful podcast here.
Yeah.
I want to hear how what Jim did for you. I want to hear what others have in a similar conversation. You see what I'm saying? Because I bet you there are others that we can bring on that I think from the field,
Right.
there you go. I think there's a lot of people that have similar experiences that, they can recall and share. And I think it will only give others inspiration.
Definitely. And it is amazing when you think about how these little gestures of kindness or
Mhm.
wanting to help people. And I do believe that as human beings, I think we are instinctively good. Like, I think we are
Yes,
instinctively wanting to
agreed.
help others. And this podcast has really brought that to life for me.
Yes. And I think with this platform too, though, there's always a through line, which is something that we can relate to. There's always something that you, Lori, is going to relate with these guests. And I think you're going to bring out something that they might not know that they had or could share, and vice versa. I think you guys are both going to be basically supporting each other in conversations that are going to be new and exciting for everyone.
Stay tuned. We're going to wrap things up and more. Let's talk about what is to come. A lot is changing. We're really focusing on making sure that we continue to stay true to our mission. And that mission is we want to get more fruits and vegetables on every table. But I do think that as I evaluate this show since its inception in 2018, I think that there has been an overwhelming level of focus on what's happening within the industry. And we have all these ancillary sectors and individuals and groups of people and professions that are elevating fruit and vegetable consumption and the broader society's eagerness to get fresh produce on every table. And so that is really my hope. Like, let's stay true to our core purpose, to our roots. All right. Let's stay true to that. We will never, at the Produce Moms, we will never, and I know they say never, but here I am saying never. We will never stop serving the agriculture supply chain. The farmers and all of the supply chain stakeholders, we consider them as critical, top tier stakeholders of the Produce Moms, the same way we do our fellow moms and households. So we will never stop serving the ag industry and the farming, everyone involved in farming. But we do think that there's space to bring in some other unique stories. And what would
Yeah.
you say is coming at the Produce Moms podcast? And why are you here?
I'm here because I want to not only tell amazing stories, I want you guys to be able to get some information from this podcast. So, I mean, what is going on in the agricultural world? Let's find out, hot off the press. Let's find out what are some hot topics that we need to talk about so that we can get that information out there for everyone to hear about. In addition, let's get some really interesting people on the show, guests, not that you haven't already, but let's get some guests on here and pick their brain. Let's figure out what makes them tick, what makes them unique individuals and inspiring, what makes them relevant to this world that we're trying to get information out to.
So from a media professional's point of view, someone who has risen, Emmy, Telly, Webby award-winning producer yourself, what's the limit with fruits and vegetables?
There is no limit. Think about it, because here's the thing. Is there a limit to content creation? No.
But there's no limit in this space.
Not at all.
That is what I am probably the most excited about. I think that this is a podcast that, hopefully this will be a whole new amazing experience for folks. But for those of you who have been with us since 2018, you're also going to be like, oh my gosh, it's the same. Like, it's the exact same thing that has drawn me in week after week.
Correct.
But
we're just going to elevate it a little bit
by graduation.
It's time to graduate a little bit. So why not elevate it? Who wants to stay the same? You want to grow too, so let's keep on evolving. And honestly, for me, I would love to hear from some audience members. What do they think would be great for this podcast? What do they want to hear? Give us a couple of suggestions. There's ways to reach us, and that could be interesting.
We would love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Let us know, because I'm sure no idea is a bad idea. There's always ways that we can evolve and create really interesting things based off of your feedback.
I agree. Well, and with our recent B Corp certification, which, we were very proud to celebrate in 2022, in the spring when that became official, we're going to stay committed to those values as well, making sure that we're elevating voices and stories that promote, sustainability and, the equitable food systems. And then beyond that, of course, it's always got to come back to that broader mission of getting fruits and veggies on every table, and also our values at the Produce Moms, which I'm not sure I've ever actually clearly stated on this show. But we say it literally every day when we're huddling to figure out what's going to publish next and what are our strategies for our newsletter and all these other things that we're creating. Fruits and vegetables are delicious, nutritious, convenient, and affordable. Those are our guiding lights. Like, we want to make sure that everything we do promotes those 4 pillars.
And
And
changing how America eats, right?
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
And I've had so many people that have nudged me and said, bigger lens, like change how the world eats, not just
That's
America.
even better, beyond America. Yes.
Yes.
Agreed.
And so, but for sure, if we can, and the work that I've done in public policy has even strengthened that passion of mine. We have to get children, especially, but all sectors of the population, but especially children, more excited about fruits and vegetables. It's something, we have a quest to turn fruits and vegetables into something that we want to eat, not something we feel like we have to eat.
So yeah, I feel like of the various productions that I've worked on, I really very much feel like there's a through line here of being able to create meaningful and inspirational content that you can take away and actually do something with it. It's taking something and evolving from it and sharing it with others for the greater good. And that to me is incredibly empowering and exciting. And I'm excited to continue that journey with Lori and the rest of you. Just how we can, continue this mission to create something amazing.
There it is, folks. We are on a mission to create amazing things, and we are on a mission to get more fruits and vegetables on every table. So all sorts of new things that are brewing. We hope that you will stay with us week after week. And thank you so much for being here with us today and every week at the Produce Moms podcast. And today is a special day. It's 7 years of the Produce Moms. So with that, hey, cheers. And don't forget to subscribe to the Produce Moms podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and any preferred podcast platform. Special thanks to everyone involved with the Produce Moms podcast, my amazing team, our executive producer, Kristen. Stay tuned till next time.